All right, we're laying the foundation. You said, what did you say the difference was in the height between where we are right now, like between the ground? I thought that was important.
Like almost 1.5 feet.
So it's like 1.5 feet.
I had to dig
here.
Down. I had to dig down, was it 19 inches?
You had to dig down 19 inches, okay.
Yeah. Just to make sure everything was flat.
Yes, because this is
level.
So everything's level for our chicken coop that we're going to be putting here.
Yeah, so there's going to be 4x4 runners that are going to be down on the foundation, and then everything's going to be mounted to those 4x4s. But what this foundation does, one, it keeps it flat, so we don't have an angled chicken coop. And two, it's also predator proofed, so that coyotes and other animals can't dig underneath, because they'd have to dig underneath a 4-inch block. They have to dig then 8 inches over and then up another 4 inches to get in there, and that's a lot. So that's how I'm feeling anyway about it. I might put a little bit of hardware cloth over there, but I think we'll be okay. So yeah, this foundation kind of double acts as a predator proofing and also as a flat surface for my chicken coop. So
excellent. And there's the chickens. We opened up their area to be a little bit larger. So they're here hanging out under, you can see there's a little bit of shade. Let me zoom out a little bit. So this area right there is actually a little pen for the chicks. The chickens I just showed you were from our neighbors who moved suddenly and asked us to be the new home for their chickens. And then these are the chicks that we bought and received at the end of June. This is the area where their chicken coop is going to be that Brandon was just talking about. So he's laying that foundation. You can see the difference in height that he mentioned between here and over here. So this will be the foundation. We'll build the whole coop, and then we'll have a hole that we actually cut in the fence around here for them to be able to go in and out. So this little area right here is just temporary because we want to keep the little chicks away from the larger ones. Let's see if we can see them. They're just all huddled in the back over there. Hey everyone, it's Alexa Mason with Grace Cherish. It's a new day, and as you saw, we are outside. Brandon's working on the chicken coop, getting the foundation ready so that we can build on top of it. And I am going through our garden right now and taking care of pests. It has been something that I've been avoiding for a bit because the problem just became so big and we've had a lot going on, so I haven't been able to do as much as I needed to help protect all of the plants. And now the problems, it's too much. I actually had to take out our cucumber plants, and our watermelons were okay, but I'm seeing squash bugs that are moving. So we had squash bugs that took over our cucumber plants. Then they started going towards our watermelon. We've harvested some watermelon, but we still have plenty more that we can be harvesting as long as we're protecting them. So I'm out here to kind of do defense right now. I've got my soapy water. I'm actually at my grapevine plant right now because my son noticed that the top of it was covered. And when I looked at what it was covered, trying to figure out what it's covered with, it could be mealybugs, could be aphids. I think it's actually aphids. So I got some hot and soapy water, gonna try to get them off. And then I have to check my sweet potatoes because some of them are getting eaten by some things. There's a lot there's a lot that's going on. So today is a work day and I'll take you along. Here are the bugs. Maybe I can get a closer shot. You can see the bugs right here. Oh, let me get the focus right. And then they actually are up all along here too. They're not covering the whole vine. You can see the rest of the vine down here. But still, gotta take care of it.
Ah, the ant's dead too.
That's fine. That's just fine. I actually never like watched anything on how you're supposed to do this, so I'm just gonna do what I'm doing and hopefully it works.
Yeah, there's another leaf too. And another leaf.
Where do you see? You see another leaf that has them?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, that's like right next to the bowl.
Oh, this one. Yeah. Okay, good. So all I'm doing...
And another really small one that we could just put.
You know what I realized? I should have gotten other water though that I could use to rinse the soapy part off. Again, I didn't look up anything on how. I have a lot of aphids on me now though. I'm not really worried about me because I can rinse that off, but I am worried about this plant. So I'm gonna actually need to get some regular water so that I can clear this off. You wanna get some? Thanks, bud. So all I just did was stick the aphid leaves, because they're at the top of the plant in this, and then we're gonna rinse this off when Gideon gets back. I stuck it in this hot and soapy water. So all the aphids are down there, and Lord willing, they won't be back, but we're gonna get some water without any soap to rinse the soap off. And then one other way that I saw, and I did verify these are aphids. Oh, this leaf, that's what he was talking about. I did verify that these were aphids just by doing a Google Lens search. Like, I thought they were aphids, but they definitely are. And one of the things that I saw recommended was that you take a jet of water and spray it on, but I couldn't do that with our hose. So I'm doing this. I'm just getting my hands in there, I guess. And I'll rinse the rest off with the water Gideon brings. But we'll see how it goes. Let me check. There weren't any on these leaves that were lower. They were all on the upper leaves. So I'm gonna use the clean water to get that off, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there. We've got more to clear. Now what do you have in there, Hosanna?
I have 4 beans that are from my garden and tomatoes.
Excellent. I'm gonna go over to these tomatoes and I'm gonna see what we need to do, because y'all, this is atrocious. I'm showing you because gotta be honest about all of it. And I need to do a lot of work in here. Not surprisingly, these squash bugs and the 3 leaf-footed bugs, their family, these guys, they have started to migrate towards our beans. So I just came over here to do some harvesting of beans and I found them, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to harvest them out. But you see some beans that are still growing strong. These are the Kentucky yellow, so I'm gonna have to get these harvested. All right, so something that I'm very thankful for, while I'm seeing squash bugs and other things that are eating some of our different plants, like our cucumbers and our watermelons and our pumpkins, I also see things like dragonflies, and dragonflies are great. And I see we have so many bees that are pollinating all around. So while I am dealing with pests and that is frustrating, I'm also thankful because the amount of butterflies, bees, dragonflies, those are all excellent things that we want to have. We also have a pond, and in our, pond water often attracts mosquitoes, other things like that. Speaking of bee, there's a big one that just went by, and that we're good, but that's good. I'm glad you're here. Actually, here's a huge one. These ones are actually carpenter bees, so, but they're not messing with our house, so I'm fine with it. I'm like, you do your thing. But anyway, with having that pond, that can attract a lot of mosquitoes and things like that, but we honestly don't have that many issues. I get bit more in this garden area than I really do down by the pond. So I'm thankful for that, because we have so many dragonflies, we have so many birds around here, so many things that, again, the ecosystem, the way that it's supposed to work, it works out really well and keeps things in balance. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking at these green bean plants, and I've mentioned this before, but one of the things that I did not do well was I should have spaced them out more. One, because I'm new, and I probably should have just done a few less until I understood the cadence and like the rhythm of needing to harvest, because these babies are fantastic producers. I'm very thankful and grateful for the amount that we get from this, and the fact, I mean, we are constantly eating them. We have so much. We can share it, we can eat it, we can all of it, because they've been really easy and wonderful to grow. But what I have not done well was that in planting them too closely together, I have one, it just makes it harder fighting for more nutrients, all of that. But then two, it created an issue where above me, and I will pan and do a shot, above me you'll see there's so, like, you can't get as much airflow and as much sun, because there are so many plants, so many leaves, and they're all crowding each other. Now again, I'm looking at some of this abundance of like things that are growing well, and one plant looks like it's like reviving right now, and I don't know if it's because I actually ripped out two plants that I was like, I don't think these, I think it's more hurtful than helpful. But now I'm seeing even more production here. So I think that was probably a good thing I did. But just, yeah, something I'm learning. I am one of those, I'm just gonna do a whole ton and see what happens. And now I'm seeing that more isn't always better, and you should gradually grow. And so the same goes with my tomato plants, the ones that I grew myself and everything, which I'm still so proud of. Those growing really well, did really well, but I should, there are just little things that I realized I should have done, and had I not had so much that was crowding my mind, I might have been able to put more attention to it. So these are all good things. These are all things you want to learn. This is our first year with a garden of this size. We are gonna, I need to do a lot of cleaning up and cleaning out some things. I love that my garden is wild, but now it's gotten like unmanageably wild. It's not the kind of wild I want. This is too much. Because we do want to do some fall planting, and it's crazy. It's August, like we're almost to mid-August already, which is, I don't know how that happened, but it is happening, and that means that we gotta get ready for fall planting. So I do want to get a round of sunflower seeds in. That's been really important to me. I love having sunflowers. A lot of the sunflowers I have are dying now, and so I want to plant some more to last into the fall. So we'll see how things go, but I'm learning with the cucumbers. One thing, and I would love actually for people with more experience than me in this, when it comes to the squash bugs and when you get an infestation, because I mentioned the pumpkins, that area where I planted our gourds, that area got taken over with squash bugs, and then our cucumbers also. And so unfortunately I have all of these areas where there were a lot, and I was reading that they can make a home in the soil and maybe last, it sounds like, until spring or something. I'm not sure how all of it works, but I would love, I'm gonna do my own research, but I would also love to learn from y'all who have experience how you deal with that, because I want to make sure that the area is cleared out well, and that I do that before planting anything in that space again. But I obviously don't want to lose that space, so I need to figure out how exactly to clear it, do what needs to be done, so that it can still be used and grow plants and not worry about an infestation right away. And then next time, I just know I'm going to be on the lookout for the bugs and the eggs, and really be vigilant. I think planting less plants, like fewer cucumbers in one area, will allow me to be able to more manage better, because they were also great producers. So it'll help me better manage getting the bugs out. But yeah, we got a lot of them around, and I'm all for helping things coexist, but they eat my plants and my cucumbers. So that's not working. I've got a lot of cucumbers that I gotta put in the compost because of them. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna focus on doing some work in here and then harvesting some flowers to take inside. And I think that's gonna be mostly it. I'm curious how people are doing. July and August, I knew were gonna be my nemesis when it came to gardening. I was like, if I can get through this part, I'll be okay. I love fall gardening. I'm very excited to talk about that and to get into that. But I'm curious, what are you doing? How is your garden going? What's it look like where you are? In Georgia, we get, warm weather and other things so much earlier than I know different places. Like if you're in Michigan, it's gonna be different, so I'm curious, how are things going? What are your wins? I'd love to hear it. Thanks for hanging out with me in the garden today.